Happy almost Christmas or whatever else it is that y'all celebrate. I'm so excited because I'm here today with two special friends from sort of my other life. So this is my like business show, right? But we're going to be talking about entertainment and film and comedy and acting and all that cool stuff. And of course, podcasts, because you two have a podcast too. So before we introduce our guests, if you're watching, let us know, say hi, let us know where you're watching from, if you're traveling for the holidays, or if you're home. I'd love to hear about that. And also how you take your coffee, because this is, of course, Coffee with Entrepreneurs. So I'd love to introduce John Lehr and Chase O'Donnell. Welcome.
Thank
Hello.
you.
We're so happy to be here.
It's so great to have you guys here. So you're both actors and comedians, and you are the co-hosts of the Generation Gab podcast. And we're going to talk about what all that means and all that good stuff. But for now, the first question, how do you each take your coffee?
Who starts? Go, John.
I'll go because I know Chase's is slightly more complicated. We're out of milk right now, so I'm taking it black, straight up.
Ooh.
All right.
I just want the caffeine. I just need the caffeine.
That's hardcore. Black coffee is hardcore.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a smoker for years. I was a smoker for like 20 years, and I used to love a black coffee and a cigarette. Oh, what a great way to start the day. Now that's not good, and no one should do it out there. Nobody.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, yes, my answer is a little more complicated. I'm a tea fan. So I start the morning with a cup of tea. I'm so sorry, for anyone that's upset about that, but it's a green tea with honey. That's how I like to start the day. But I've actually lately been drinking coffee, which I never do.
What?
I'm working on set, and the production hours are so long that I've actually been drinking coffee because it does the trick. Since I never drink coffee, I'm awake. So I've been enjoying it for the boost of energy.
That's news to me, Chase.
I know.
Yeah.
It's rare, but I've started to do it.
So are you one of those people who's not you don't get addicted to it? Because if I drink coffee for a short amount of time and then I don't drink coffee, I get headaches, I get tired. You don't get that?
I don't think I drink it enough. I just drink it when I'm like so exhausted that I need to just wake up for a certain amount of hours. So I don't drink it every morning. It's not like my routine. So I haven't experienced the withdrawals of not having coffee or, not making it part of my routine. So far, so good.
Well, wow. So nice, healthy way to start the day. Usually, green tea with honey. That's awesome. So you guys, you're of course the host of the Generation Gab podcast, which I was on last month.
You killed it.
We had a great time talking about LinkedIn, and of course we're on LinkedIn now. And one of the reasons I was excited to have you guys here is because John, of course, you're a LinkedIn fan.
I have been made fun of by my friends for being on LinkedIn, and now I'm super hip and cool because LinkedIn is the thing to be on. But I think like a lot of LinkedIn people, I was sick of Facebook, but I still wanted to connect and stuff. But the politics on Facebook were just, it just made it impossible to navigate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So tell us about how the idea for Generation Gab came about. Did you guys start this year or last year? What was the format? What was the idea behind it?
We started last year. John and I worked together on a project that John was doing. So I guess I auditioned for John, and that's how we met. And then you came to me
because when Chase and I worked together, I loved her and loved working with her so much. And I was just, I've never done anything like this before, but I just reached out to her and said, "Hey, do you want to do something together?" I really like, working with you. And I can't remember how we came up with podcast, but one of us did.
You had the idea to do a podcast,
Oh,
and then because of I don't know even how we came up with the idea of Generation Gab. It was very just like, great, that's perfect. Here we go.
We're different. I'm 55. Chase is in her 20s. So, we knew that that was going to be a part of who we were. And so, yeah.
The generational differences is what the show covers. Mm-hmm. We like to talk. We get a kick out of it. We get a kick hearing what each other knows and what we don't know.
I don't know about rotary phones. What? The show, really.
How lucky is that? Because podcasts have, because of the pandemic, right? Like, you guys started this pre-COVID.
Yeah. Once COVID happened, everyone started a podcast.
Exactly.
Like, we were ahead of the game.
So what sort of things come up as someone who's a Gen Xer and a millennial? Chase, you're a millennial, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So talking, what sort of issues come up for you on that podcast?
Lots of pop culture references from the 80s movies, songs, artists. It's really pop culture we like to cover, and there's so much I don't know.
I was going to say, Chase had never seen Spinal Tap. Maria, have you seen Spinal Tap? Okay, Chase had never seen Spinal Tap.
Wow, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
John had never seen Miss Congeniality, so there's been some,
Yeah.
Good movie.
See, I've seen both.
Yes. So you're between, right?
Yeah.
How do you classify yourself?
So I consider myself an elder millennial, but like, it's funny because like my Gen X friends, and John, I don't know if you feel this way too, but like my Gen X friends will be like, oh yeah, you're a millennial. Like, don't, you're just in that category. Right. But for me, like, I see a big difference in generations between, someone who's my age and someone who's maybe Chase's age or a little younger.
Yeah, and it's interesting about that because, the reason all of these generational names exist is for advertisers to sell us stuff.
Right.
I mean, basically, it's just in my opinion, it's to separate up the demos so that they know who will buy what. Oh, Gen Xers are old. They've all settled on their brands. Millennials, until recently, we can get them hooked on, Hunt's ketchup before they get hooked on whatever the other ketchup is. Right. And, but so on that level, it's kind of, I don't know, sort of just, subjective, but it is interesting. That's my son. It is interesting that, there are crossovers when you find that line of what Chase doesn't know and what I do know, or the opposite. It's so kind of fascinating just how pop culture works.
And also, John has kids that are Gen Z, so John has another knowledge, like, of stuff that I don't even know because his young kids know that, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm out of the loop. So there's so many different.
Yeah, that's a trip when we get into that because I'm like, Gen Z stuff, I'm in.
Yeah, you know Gen Z.
I know it all because they talk about it, and I'm closer to my kids, so I know what they're into.
So do you have a TikTok?
TikTok, I'm totally. Oh my God, I was on a show years and years ago called 10 Items or Less on TBS. Chase, I haven't even told you this. And we did an episode on turkey bowling where I was bowling frozen turkeys in the grocery store aisles. And people loved it. Somebody took a clip from that, put it on TikTok, and it got 100,000 views on TikTok.
I know. When we did our live podcast on the episode coming out today, we found out live together. So I didn't know about that.
See, that's the other side of this thing is because I'm old and Chase has to very kindly remind me that we've already talked about this.
John's TikTok famous.
So it's funny because I saw that clip on Facebook, not on TikTok. So like because of the generational divide that I'm in, right? Like I found out about it on Facebook.
Right.
But I did see that. It was hilarious. I shared it. Yeah.
So crazy, isn't that? TikTok is so fascinating. I'm not going to do it because I can't. I'm full up. No more social media. Social media has to die. One of them has to die before I'll take on another one. But TikTok is fascinating.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening on there. A lot more than you think. A lot more than dance videos.
Oh, yeah. Anything you want.
Yeah. I mean, for example, you know, Trump's back in Oklahoma, when Trump had that rally and they were expecting 1 million people and only like 3,000 showed up, their TikTokers were a big part of that because they were activists and these were like 14-year-old TikTokers who signed up for tickets just to fill them up and make them think a ton of people were coming, then it didn't, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, how amazing is that, right? Like these 14-year-old geniuses figured out that they could spread this.
And it really was, I think, I mean, you can track it back. That was the beginning of Trump's campaign starting to have troubles.
Right.
And
this new generation definitely is growing up in a time where there's going to be a ton of activists from this generation because millennials, well, at least for me when I was growing up, like everything was just like pretty, it was easy. It was fun. Like I know that if I was in high school right now, I don't know if I would have gone into acting. It was just like, oh, fun acting. I think I would have probably been like, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to change the world. But that stuff wasn't going on really.
When did you graduate, Chase? What year?
2009.
2009. So, God, 2009, Jesus. That seems like yesterday.
You graduated high school in 2009.
High school 2009.
Yeah. So you were in the early 2000s, you were in school. Yeah. And it was a totally different scene.
Oh, that's
time.
But now kids who are 13, 14, 12, you know, they not only do they want to be activists or the culture, but they can be. They can actually create change. Whereas when I was 12, even if I wanted to be an activist, which I did.
And you're seeing it a lot more. There's people you can look up to be like, oh, because also with Instagram, you can be a famous florist and just put your, like, you can be anything and be well known. It's like, you don't, I think our generation's the only way you're like out there in the world is if you are on TV, you know, it's like now there's so many different platforms to be huge. I don't know. It's just really fascinating.
No, you're right. You know, Chase, and so I graduated in 2002 from high school. And so the difference even between 2002 and 2009, right? Like social media didn't exist when I was in high school and it was just starting.
Wow, you're right.
In high school, right? And I mean, if I would have wanted to go out and protest, my mom would have been like, what are you talking to? No, hell no. You know what I mean? But these kids are doing it from bedrooms. You know? So
it would have been weird if we wanted to go protest.
Well, like where you'd have to figure it out and go, you know, and go to that place where people are protesting. Now you just on your phone, you can say, yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm gonna. Oh, here's the link to buy Trump tickets. Click it and they tell you how to. They would tell them how to do it so that because you had to put in false information, I guess, because otherwise they'd figure out you were 14 and wouldn't give you the ticket. Right. So.
Well, it was funny because I did it, and I actually found out about it on Facebook, and I went through it, and it was so rudimentary. Like there were no verifications, there was no nothing. Like I think at one point, like my email address was like not going .net. And nobody questioned it. Like there was no like I am not a robot. There was nothing like that.
And you know that led to so much. I mean, you know, whether you're pro-Trump or not, just that changed the election. That changed the campaign because really that was the first like chink in the armor of that campaign of like, wait, because remember they had a whole another pavilion set up that was empty, and the press kept shooting all of them. There was going to be a march. This was during the COVID. People,
Right.
it was a huge moment. I mean, I think you can really, without it, I wonder if Trump would have won. I mean, because it really was the first domino, I think, that kind of fell where people were like, wait, there's something, it's not the same. And his campaign manager ended up resigning basically over that.
Yeah. See, Gen Z is going to change the world. I keep saying it.
I mean, that's so amazing that 13-year-olds did that. It's just so great.
13-year-olds did what the adults couldn't. It's
Yeah.
So what are you guys working on outside of the podcast? Because I know you both have really great projects going on.
I've been working on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I work as a productions assistant, and they've been so kind to put me in the show as well. So that was
they are lucky to have her. Chase is a huge talent, and they are lucky to have her on. We've been slowly, because of the pandemic, developing something for the two of us to do together.
Yes.
Right now, it's a film. Although we could see it as a TV show too. Probably.
We have, what's it called? We have a development deal.
We have a development deal. Yes.
It's still for the whole year. We have it. So
we have it.
Taking our time.
Yes. That's right.
That's a project the two of us would love to make once they start making things again. And that's pretty much it for me. What about you, John?
I'm developing some other stuff. I have I have a show that we just pitched and a reality show, which is so weird that I'm involved in a reality show that is now with Hello Sunshine, which is
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon's company. Yes.
Oh wow.
That's a big deal. And then I have a comedy that I've been developing too. So everybody during the pandemic, if you're in the arts, you're just trying to keep going.
Well, because I was doing stand up before the pandemic, and then I was on tour, and that stopped. So apparently that's coming back 2021, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
That's awesome. Can you guys talk about the project that you're working on together?
Well, should we change? I don't know how much we
should
to. We can. Yeah, it's totally up to us.
Okay.
It's kind of but I don't know if we want to get it out there too far yet because it's still in the early stages. But how about this?
Oh yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's basically about my time in a pop group, true story, but then dramatized and made into comedy.
Yeah.
And improv, because that's what John is brilliant at, and I love comedy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a hybrid thing where it plays with what's true and what's not, and it'll use real footage coupled with, sort of like, I mentioned Spinal Tap, sort of like Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, exactly.
Yeah. Spinal Tap was my all-time favorite movie and changed my life. So.
Wait, is Spinal Tap improvised?
Yeah, it had some improv aspects to it. Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, you mentioned 10 Items or Less, and that was the first improvised sitcom.
Yeah, it was. It really was. There was Reno 911, which was a improv single cam, but we were the first one, I think, to do it with multicam, 3 cameras, and shoot it in a grocery store that was open for business while we shot, which is kind of an interesting thing.
Serious?
So a lot of the customers that were in that show were just people shopping in the grocery store, which was funny. But I did well, did 3 seasons, it gave me my start. And it was fantastic. Great time. And it's still out there. I mean, people still stream it. That's what's so cool is I still get
diehard 10 Items fans.
Yeah, and people who discover it for the first time and they think it's like a new show, and they're like, "When's the next season coming out?" And I'm like, "Well, it's been 10 years, so probably."
Yeah, it's on Crackle.
Right, it bounces back between Crackle and Hulu.
Okay.
And then it's also on some. Oh my God! It's on little cable stations and international, like it's Peru, and stuff lasts forever now. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's funny. My housemates and I were watching a few episodes before we started shooting our project, and there are some moments in there that are just so funny. Like we would pause and just laugh for 10 minutes.
So funny.
It's so funny because improv, you can get that kind of humor that you just can't get when it's fully scripted, because there's a certain delight or giggle aspect of it that when the improvisers are creating it on the fly, there's a certain energy that comes from that you just can't get. And I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's a different it's a different style, and it's I love it. I love it. I just shot something with Bob Clendenin, who was in 10 Items or Less, who is the who played the stock boy in 10 Items or Less, and we just shot a little something kind of as a test. But it was so great just to be doing it with him again, be improvising. It's so fun, and as in addition to being good, it's fun.
So are you shooting in person? Was that an in-person?
Yeah, we shot it in person. It was very small. It was just the two of us with COVID protocols and a very, very small crew.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see.
I know. I'm going to show it to you. It just happened, Chase. It was while you were working.
Wow.
Yeah, Chase and I have not had a lot of FaceTime with each other because she's been working and long hours and
but I'm finally on break. This is my first day of holiday vacation, and I'm so excited. In my ugly Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
I think my sweater just says ugly.
Yeah, right. No, it says ugly.
Ugly Christmas sweater.
A sweater or a sweatshirt? Like,
well,
is it?
This is a sweatshirt. It just said it's just a funny.
But it should say ugly Christmas sweatshirt. I mean, because it's not a sweater. I mean, it's a lie. Not only is it a joke, but it's also a lie.
Yeah. It's upset a lot of people.
Yeah, you're really asking for trouble on multiple levels with that.
Chase is causing controversy. It's great.
Yeah.
So after the break, do you go back to Curb or?
We shoot through April. So they really take their time. Let me tell you.
When do we get to see you on Curb?
I have a feeling the show will come out in 2022.
Okay.
So we have quite a while, but you best believe I'll be throwing a viewing party for my 15 seconds on air.
Yeah, we got to do it on the podcast and do it live while we watch it.
No one promises I'll make it in the cut, but we've got a long time before it comes out.
I predict if you don't make it in the cut, this will be their last season.
Okay.
And now you can throw all the, because of the pandemic, you can throw a watch party. You can invite people to watch it at the same time as you.
I know that's
well, hopefully in 2022 we'll all be vaccinated and hugging and kissing each other.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I hope. You'll be married.
Yeah, exactly. We're waiting until after the pandemic because everybody's all over the place, and we want our family and friends there, and so.
I just found out I won't be officiating her wedding, Chase.
Oh.
John wanted us to get married on Zoom.
Zoom weddings are great.
But you'll be the best man. You'll be.
But then your spouse to be said that I could be the best man, so that's fine. So now.
Congratulations, John.
Mm-hmm. They promised it on air.
We did, with lots of witnesses.
I can't wait for your movie to come out. Is that
Yeah,
gonna be
it's so good. The queer Hollywood.
It came out. It came out.
Yeah,
It's on Amazon.
I can watch it tonight.
Yeah,
it's there.
How many episodes are there?
4, and
4 episodes, Chase.
and John was in it. John plays
Wait,
the
was
dad.
that what you were saying, that you finished it this week? It came out like
Yeah, it came out last week.
last
They're
week.
so
Okay.
fast. They turned it. They're so impressive. You guys are so
That's
impressive.
amazing. I wasn't expecting that to come out so fast.
And it looks
Not
great.
wait. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah,
And I'm fantastic. I mean, I can't tell you how good I am in this.
Everyone listening has to watch tonight too. So it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's Amazon, and I have to say, John, like you know, having you there was, first of all, such an honor. But oh my God, we cried just sitting there watching you guys improvise. It was so funny.
Oh,
you know,
that was so much fun. So
Can't
much
wait.
fun.
I can't wait.
Such a great project, and I have a very small part, Chase. I play the father of the lead, but I'm a very cool dad. Very, you know.
You didn't even have to act.
it's not a small part.
I can't wait.
There are no small parts, John.
Well, sometimes there are. Let's face it.
Nice. Well, so what are your plans for the break?
I have children, so I am working all the time until I die, serving my children. You know, what do you need? How can I help you? You're like, you know, you're on the clock until you die as a parent. I didn't realize that when I became a parent. So, you know, whatever you need. Are you hungry? Do you need some food? Have you brushed your teeth? Where do you need me to drive you? Okay, let's go do it. I'll plan it. Yes, we'll pick that up on the way. That's what I'm doing all Christmas break.
And I'm so sorry to say it, but I think my Christmas break is going to be a lot of R&R, rest and relaxation.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, John.
No, you've been working your butt. You've been basically being a parent to all of those people on that show as a PA. A PA is a very hard job. Very hard job.
Yeah.
Very
So
stressful.
I'm
Even
excited.
the paperwork is no small feat. I mean, as I recently learned, like you, I have respect for good PAs. Seriously.
Very stressful, very stressful.
Yeah. They're very lucky to have
Vince Vaughn yesterday told me that he was just blown away with how great I was at my job. So, you know.
Wow.
I know him from Chicago days. You should tell him I said hi.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
We both came up in Chicago around this. We partied together a little bit, me and the Vaughn.
Oh my God. You know I'm going to tell him. I love having things in common with Vince.
Did I do? Yeah, I think we did an episode. I was in an episode of a pilot that I think he was in, where I got machine gunned. I was a bad guy. I was a drug addict, and I got machine gunned. And this was before, you know, they had all this great After Effects. So it was with squibs. So they had squibs that blew up on me. So I got to do that thing. You know, oh, it was so amazing. So amazing.
Is there some place we could see this?
Oh, it was great. Nancy, from my favorite Christmas movie, John Lehr from my favorite. What Christmas movie?
The one that just came out.
It's the one.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's the best Christmas movie ever.
Oh.
That's actually so funny. What Christmas movie?
I'm the worst promoter. I already forgot.
So can we see this Vince Vaughn thing with you getting attacked with the squibs?
It was, I think he was in it, and I may not be 100%. Who's the guy who directed Iron Man, and now he directs?
Sounds like a big director.
He's a big director. He directed Iron Man. He was also in Iron Man. He played the, oh God, what's his name? Anyway, you guys are probably already looking it up. Anyway, he directed it. And he cast me in it because I knew him from Chicago too.
Okay.
Directed Iron Man. Isn't it amazing that we can just do that? You guys don't even realize. You used to have to go to the Jon Favreau. So Jon Favreau, I knew him from Chicago as well, and he cast me, and it was a pilot, and I'm pretty sure Vince Vaughn was in it because they had just done Swingers. Remember that? Do you guys ever see that movie Swingers? That is like Gen X to a T, I think. That Swingers, very coming of age Gen X movie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. But I got to play a guy who gets shot. I think that was a question.
That's awesome. Are those are those things? This is probably such a stupid question. Are those things painful when they pop?
It doesn't hurt, but it's loud and really scary. You know, because stuff is exploding on you. So it does. I didn't notice any pain at all, but it's a lot to have exploding things on your body. And I was in a doorway, so they had them up the doorway too, because like the guys like just spraying me with bullets. So it's just explosions everywhere. But it was so much fun. Oh my God. I mean, how often does a comedy actor get to do that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Chase, wouldn't you love to be machine gunned? I
think it's more exciting for boys. Maybe.
Oh, really? Okay. Come true.
I don't know. If I could trust myself not to laugh during something like that, I would love to do that.
To experience it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just go, oh, and then you fall down, and there's smoke everywhere. It's just so amazing. It's such movie magic, you know.
That's awesome. Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is our last episode of the year, so it was to send off 2020 with you guys.
Goodbye, 2020.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Coming to an end.
Yep. Kissed you goodbye.
Seriously. Thank you so much for having us on. We just love you. So thank you. And I'm gonna watch the movie tonight, and I'm gonna share it on all social medias, even TikTok.
And you've helped us so much, Marie, with like, dealing with social media stuff for our podcast. So, I mean, to the people who are watching this, she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
There's more to come, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in the new year and to do great stuff together. And it's just wonderful. I'm so glad to know you both.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.